Okay, so I just lay out my bread, grab out how many cheeses I want. I like about 3 for each one when I'm using a meat, but only like 1.5 when I'm not. And then I soften my butter for 30 seconds in the defrost setting of the microwave. And then I'm going to stir all that down into there. And I'm going to add a little bit of garlic butter to mine because I prefer mine with garlic butter. And then I just spread it thin on my bread. So it's this consistency, super soft, and just some on all of it, about like that. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything, just some, and I'll do that on all of them. We each have the butter on them, and then I get my pan and I turn this guy to about the middle down button, and I let that get all the way warm. While the pan is getting warm, I went ahead and thinly sliced my chicken cutlets. So to tell if the pan is ready, I just put some water on my fingers and I splash it into the pan and see how it bubbles, but isn't like going crazy. That's how you know it's ready. So once the water kind of dries itself out of there, I grab my bread, and it shouldn't make any sound or anything, and then 1.5 pieces of my cheese, and you work this part a little bit quickly because you don't want it to cook that bread before the cheese is on there and the sandwich is stuffed. And then you grab your meat and you put that on there like that if you want it to have the meat on it, and then you put your other piece of cheese and a half onto there, and then you put your buttered side up like that, and then we just kind of wait for it to be like a little golden brown on the other side. You'll start to notice that this cheese down here will get kind of like down in this guy here, you'll start to notice it gets a little melty, but not fully melted, and then we'll flip it over. You can take your spatula and go under this edge and lift it up a little and look under it, and I don't know if you can tell, but it looks a little brown. So I flipped it over, like I flipped him over, and then we wait for it to do that on the other side. If my cheese isn't quite melting fast enough, I'll sometimes tuck a lid on top of it snugly. This will make for a softer grilled cheese, so if you don't want it to be too soft, don't leave it on there for long, or don't do this part. I'm just doing it because we have the meat in there, and the meat was cold, so I wanted that to heat up some. Okay, so I checked the bottom and this one's done, so I'm just gonna slide it out onto there and put my other one in. Alright, so that one's in and cooking, and this guy over here that I set out here, I will do a grilled cheese cut. And there it is.